watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello and welcome to this year's first edition of Red Devil Postgame. I'm your moderator, Mariques Lambert. After a long wait, we are finally back in action with sports. On this episode, we take a look at the spring sports happening this season. From softball and baseball to soccer and track. We give you the scoop on how the teams have been preparing for a season some thought would never come. And later, reporter Thomas Tartan has an exclusive interview with Rachel Heck, a golfer at Stanford University. But first, I catch up with Athletics Director and Assistant Principal, Mr. Waddell, to find out how GHS athletes are staying safe and what we can expect from our Red Devils.
Set, go. Yes, sir.
Mr. Waddell, thank you for talking with me. What was your reaction when you heard spring sports were coming back?
I was ecstatic for the kids. These folks are doing spring sports. They lost an entire season last year. All of our sports, fall sports lost an entire season. Winter sports lost an entire season. So just having the opportunity for everybody to be out here and compete again feels great for these kids. I'm really excited for them.
How did athletes and parents react to the news?
Some were a little apprehensive. Some had a lot of questions, which is very understandable. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. COVID's hit different families in different sorts of ways. But overall, the parents, the kids were extremely excited and ready to get back to it. Our coaches have been planning for this day for a long time and we're ready to go.
What I really want to do today is I want to push us today, all right? Today is going to be our last day to kind of get in shape.
What are some protocols coaches are taking to keep players safe?
That's a great question. So just like we do for students who are entering the buildings, all of our athletes are going to go through a temperature check, also COVID screening questions. We also have plenty of hand sanitizer and wipes out here. We're going to try and socially distance as much as possible, but of course when you actually start getting into competition activity, you can't always do that. But our coaches are going to take as much precaution as they can.
And what happens when a player tests positive for COVID?
Luckily it hadn't happened yet. Hopefully it won't happen all season. In the event it does, we'll treat it just like we do with a positive test we have here at school. That student will be reported to Shelby County Schools. The school system has its own tracing team. That tracing team then will tell us how to proceed.
With some schools that Germantown usually plays not participating in the season, how hard was it to schedule games?
Again, another great question. Scheduling has been challenging to an extent. Some of the municipal schools and also some of the private schools already had schedules fully established. Luckily, a lot of our sports, such as baseball and softball, have been communicating with those coaches throughout this and already had a schedule set up. There are some teams that aren't playing within Shelby County Schools, but the vast majority are fielding teams.
And are teams playing a full schedule or will it be a short season?
No, they are playing a full schedule. In fact, the TSSAA allows competition for spring sports starting this Monday, March 15th, and most of our teams are ready to go.
Now, here's a question a lot of parents and students want to know the answer to. Will fans be allowed at sporting events?
Fans will be allowed. TSSAA right now is allowing us to fill that one-third capacity. So when our fans enter, they can expect to have their own temperature screen. They themselves will go through a COVID questionnaire, and there will be social distancing markers throughout our complexes to make sure they keep their distance as well.
Finally, how are fall sports looking? Will they be back in full?
That is a question for Shelby County Schools. I've been told they'll discuss it starting in April. Our hope is that, of course, we will. Hopefully we'll know more here in about a month.
With sports swinging back into action, I'm excited to talk to head GHS baseball coach Carl Harkin and senior player Sean Terrell to discuss the current season. They join me virtually. Hey Coach, hey Sean, thank you for coming to the show.
Hey Marcus, yep, thank you for having us.
So Coach, how's the season been going?
It's going well. We've battled through a lot of adversity through all the different protocols, and we're excited to see how the season finishes here.
Sean, this season was obviously different for many reasons. How was it hard to prepare for competition?
Initially, it was pretty rough not having preseason conditioning, but now that we're in the full swing of the season, we're able to catch our stride.
Coach, there are many concerns over COVID-19 and the pandemic. So what are the new protocols being put in place?
Initially, we were only allowed to practice in pods, which were groups of 9, and that lasted throughout much of the off season. We weren't actually allowed to touch any equipment, baseballs, baseball bats, gloves, anything of that nature. Then we found out that we could return, but we could only practice outside. So we haven't even been able to use our hitting cages or anything like that. So we've had to adjust to a numerous amount of obstacles as the season has approached and throughout the season.
And what were the concerns of parents?
We addressed this issue almost immediately, and that was we would take all the necessary protocols to prevent any sort of health risk that was physically possible for our program. But those who still had concerns, we told them that no penalty, of course, would be enforced on those kids until they returned.
Sean, this season has been extremely difficult for you. So what are your plans for the future?
I plan on continuing my education in business and also learning about automotive technology and possibly using my skills that I acquired in baseball to play at the next level.
Coach, Sean, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Mariques.
Thank you for having us.
The return of spring sports was big news for everyone, not just the athletes. Fans were also excited to get back in the stands and cheer on the Red Devils. They were on hand at a recent GHS soccer game against Central. While social distancing is in effect, you could still feel the energy fans were giving off.
It feels great being back on the sidelines, being able to cheer on the student athletes here for not just my son, but all the kids at Germantown High School. I think that's something they've missed for quite a while, and I'm glad to be able to do it for them.
I think that coming to games is very important because you're showing them that you support them and what they're doing.
That's what makes the game more fun. Having people cheering you on and having that, hearing all the fans and everything, it helps me perform better, so I feel like it will be better for them.
While there are some inconveniences like not having concession stands, fans say it's manageable. We have to take a short break, but when we return, we'll take you to that soccer game against Central to find out how the season's going. Don't go away.
GHS-TV started in 1982, and it was just a couple of cameras, a couple of on-air personality, and it's really grown into what you see today. It's a multi-million-dollar studio with top-of-the-line technology.
Being able to operate, all of the machinery in the control room, being able to use all of our software and hardware that we have around the studio is a great skill because this is top-of-the-line equipment.
I feel like this class has brightened my horizon. It's something that I never thought I would be doing, especially as a student.
GHS-TV is probably one of the most hands-on experiences a student will ever get in their lifetime.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. Nothing really has just the vibe that we have here.
Especially after you finish, you get a real rush of, wow, I just did that.
By the time a student graduates from Germantown High School, they will know pretty much every position there is, from producing to directing to on-air work.
You learn time management, you learn organization, you learn how to work with people, how to better communicate with people.
We put a lot on them, and they have to be able to have the responsibility and the knowledge to get everything that we ask them.
I had very little experience, so in the past 3 years, the skills that I've learned have absolutely exponentially grown.
The class has actually helped me figure out that I want to go to college for journalism.
When a student graduates, they are the best possible version of themselves that they can be.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Red Devil Postgame. This year, with everything changing because of COVID-19, the GHS boys soccer team has been facing one of the biggest challenges: no place to call home. With no home field, the team has struggled with planning games. Red Devil postgame reporter Alyssa Goodwin got a chance to speak with the coach and a player after the team's big win against Central High School.
I'm here with Coach Fashawn and Gabriel Gonzalez. Congratulations on your win today, and thank you for talking with me. The team finally has some games under its belt. Gabriel, how is the season looking?
Honestly, I've been looking forward to the season because of, COVID and everything going on in the world right now, but I like this team we have right now, and I think this team has a lot of potential to go forward.
Coach Vashon, there was a very short window for trials and training before the season began. How did that affect players?
Well, it affected them mentally, emotionally. Everybody just wanted to play. So once we got out there, we dug in deep, and we started to work very hard and make sure that we committed each other to giving our all.
Coach, after seeing the team in competitions, where were their strengths and where could they improve?
Well, we have to make sure that we're continuing as a team. And once we come together as a team, we want to make sure that we stay that way for the rest of the season.
Gabriel, talk about how it felt getting back on the soccer field after a whole year.
Honestly, it's great. For me, it's a privilege being out here with my friends, my teammates. It's great being out here 90 minutes on the field with them every day at practice. It's a great vibe with them every day at practice.
Coach Vashon, soon it'll be time to look to next year's team. What are the underclassmen looking like?
I hate to lose my seniors, but I know that they're setting a good example for those that are coming up. We should have a strong season next year when we switch to another division, but we're still going to give our all in next season.
Finally, Gabriel, what will you remember most about this season?
Honestly, I can't give you one exact memory. It's going to be a season to remember, I can guarantee you that.
We want to turn our focus now to a local golfer who is making a name for herself. Her name is Rachel Heck. She's a St. Agnes Academy graduate and currently a freshman on the Stanford University golf team, where she is already setting school records on the links. Red Devil Postgame reporter Thomas Tartan joins us from his home studio. Hey, Thomas.
Hey Mariques, you could say Rachel Heck is at the top of her game. In April, she placed tied for third at the 2021 Augusta National Women's Amateur. And most recently, she won the Pac-12 Individual Golf Championship as a freshman. She joins me now to talk about her success. Rachel, thank you so much. It's great to talk with you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
First, congratulations on your performance at Augusta. Tell us about your experience.
Yeah, it was crazy. So growing up, of course, I've always watched the Masters, but I never even dreamed that I would have the chance to play at Augusta.
Rachel Heck, Stanford freshman.
Yes, Rachel Heck did. At the 12th hole here, played it well.
Sensational shot.
So it was just unreal. I truly enjoyed every second of it. Just walking those fairways and thinking about the big names who have walked those fairways before was absolutely incredible.
Great. What was the most challenging part about the tournament?
Yeah, so a lot of people told me before that you couldn't necessarily appreciate all the elevation at Augusta until you're actually there, just how crazy undulated the greens and the fairways are. So it was super difficult trying to get a feel for those. You know, we got one practice round, but it's so hard to learn a course in one practice round. But I had such a great caddy who knew the course super well, so he was able to help me navigate those. So it ended up working out well, but that was definitely difficult.
You come from a golf family here in Memphis. When did you first start playing golf?
I started playing golf when I was 3. My dad would take my 2 sisters and I out to the golf course every day after work, and he would bribe us with ice cream to go play. So for me, golf just meant ice cream, and soon enough, I just fell in love with the game.
As we mentioned, you are a freshman at Stanford University. What drew you to a school all the way across the country?
So Stanford had always been kind of the dream of mine. Obviously, the academics are incredible, and they also have one of the top golf programs in the country. I visited my freshman year of high school, and I just absolutely fell in love with it as soon as I stepped on the campus. I knew I had to be there, and yeah, it's definitely a change from being in Tennessee, but I really love it.
At the Pac-12 Championship, you were the only golfer with 3 rounds in the 60s, missing the scoring record by 1 stroke. How are you able to keep up that momentum all 3 days?
The freshman from Memphis, Rachel Heck for Stanford, 2 wins this year. Last week, a Stanford record 16 under par over 54 holes.
Yeah, it was, it's definitely not easy to put together a few good rounds in a row, but I think having the team, we all kind of had really good energy. We wanted to come back and win as a team. So we all kind of help each other keep that momentum up, because that definitely is a super mentally challenging part of golf, is keeping that momentum. So I think that's huge about having a team, to be able to motivate each other and help each other keep that momentum.
In April, you played at the Fresno State Classic and you broke a school and course record with a 16 under par. What was going through your head during those final holes? Did you know that you were on track to set a record?
I did not know. That was news to me when I came off the green. I knew it was gonna be one of the best runs I had ever had, and I just wanted to finish it off strong. But that was definitely news to me coming off the green, that it broke those couple of records.
You are now focusing on postseason competition with the NCAA coming up in May. How are you preparing yourself mentally and physically?
Yeah, so it's definitely physically, definitely get to rest a little bit. We took a couple days off after the Pac-12, just to give our bodies time to recover. And now we're just full swing practice again, still motivating each other, because it gets hard in this point of the season. You really do get quite tired. It's a lot, mentally exhausted as well, so we're just keeping each other going, motivating each other to practice hard. Our coaches make practices really fun, so we're really excited to show up and play together that day. So we're just having a good time, honestly.
I feel like golf was one of those few sports you could still actually play during the pandemic. Did the pandemic affect you at all in that sense?
Yeah, so it was nice that golf was a sport that you could continue to play. I think I only had to take a week or two off when courses were closed, but then everything outside opened up pretty soon. My tournament, a lot of tournaments got canceled, which is obviously disappointing, but I was honestly just grateful that I was able to just keep playing and doing what I love. So it definitely could have been a lot worse.
Golf can be challenging for even the most seasoned pro. Maybe their swing was off or they just can't make those putts. What is challenging for you?
I think staying patient on the course, because obviously, like you just mentioned, golf, even just the slightest bit of a wrong swing or a misaligned putt, can have big consequences, and you just got to recognize that that's going to happen. That's inevitable. No one's going to avoid those bad shots. So staying patient and just putting those behind you and continuing to look forward is super key.
Finally, before we let you go, do you have any pointers or tips for young golfers who are just starting out?
Yeah, so my advice would just be to play as much as you can. Just learn to love the game. Play games, go out and play with people. I grew up just playing competitions with my two sisters. There was always ice cream or something on the line. We just learned to love the game in that sense. Don't put pressure on yourself from a young age to perform well. That's gonna come with time, but play as much as you can and really learn to love the game.
Rachel, thank you again and good luck with the rest of your year.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mariques, back to you.
While exciting things are finally starting back up for players at GHS, senior Kayla Townsend is looking ahead to prepare for her future. Kayla has recently signed to play softball at Rainy River Community College.
Greetings, everyone. This is Dieter Humbert. I am the women's softball coach at Rainy River Community College in International Falls, Minnesota. And I am welcoming to our team Kayla Townsend from Memphis, Tennessee.
Kayla has played softball for as long as she can remember, and her time at GHS has given her the opportunity to improve her skills while preparing for college. Even though she has enjoyed the last 4 years as a Red Devil, Kayla is excited to continue her passion at the next level.
I'm really looking forward to really improving myself to be better than what I was, when I first started, and also to maybe go to a bigger, better school as a better player as I am now.
Congratulations, Kayla, and good luck next year. One team who didn't get to have a season is the varsity football team. Coach Robinson and his staff worked hard to ensure senior players got as many scholarship offers as possible, and the work paid off. Athletes committed to play at Tennessee State University and Lake Forest College, among others. Senior TJ Tate is excited to play at Pittsburgh State in the fall. He hopes the rising senior players will continue to lead by example.
A lot of guys around me look up to me as a leader, so my biggest thing is, to keep everyone up and excited and, try to get everyone to rally together and stay together and keep doing what they're doing.
Good luck to all the seniors who committed to play football next year. Now, Coach Robinson is looking to the future, and the future looks bright, with quarterback Malik Young and defensive back Cody Jones leading the Red Devils next year.
We're excited, and we can't wait to hear, let's go out for spring football, let's go make this happen, because we're excited. We want to bring that passion, that spirit, that fun right back to the Germantown community. We want to do things that have never been done before.
Mark your calendars, Red Devils. The 2021 season kicks off August 21st at Christian Brothers. That's it for this episode of Red Devil Postgame. With the successful start of spring sports, we are looking forward to sports being back in full action next year. I'm Mariques Lambert, and for all of us here at GHS-TV, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Red Devil Postgame. Go Red Devils!